Today we learn about karma, which is a very complex subject. If we believe in karma, then it will be easier for us to go towards the inner Buddha or awakening. Karma is the door towards the inner Buddha. If we don't believe in karma, then it can go two ways. Whether in the Buddha's time or in this present day, people believe that karma and the results of karma don't really exist. Once someone dies, there is nothing. It ends. There is no cycle of death and rebirth. There is only birth in this life. After death, there is nothing. It ends. And another group believes that however we are born, it will stay like that again in the next birth. Being human, they are human again. Being an animal, they're an animal again. So one who has a high rank and status, and whatever level of wisdom they have, they are reborn the same way. There is no change. Or these days, there's a new type of belief, where after death we have the goal that we will go to be with something good, something that we have high respect for, or a place where there is happiness. But this does not take into account what one has done in the present. The Buddha had insight and knew the karma of living beings. Kamuna watati loko. All living beings go according to karma. Good karma, bad karma, they go according to karma. So the law of karma is the important foundation of the Buddha Sasana, the dispensation. But there is a very complex detail to it, and we can't think about it too much. Like, what karma was it to be like this? We think to try to understand it, but we get confused. We get more lost. The more we think about it, the more we get tied down by it. And the mind becomes more and more confused. We won't be able to use the thinking of the brain to get to the crux of the matter. We won't be able to have our own mindfulness and wisdom come up to be able to understand it. This is important because we shouldn't think too much about it. It is achinteyo, beyond the reach of thought. And so, thinking endlessly about it, it says we can go crazy. Because karma and its results is a very detailed subject and goes very deep. And we know that all things are karma. We accept it. Sometimes we experience things, and it has to be related to karma. One parks their car at their apartment, and it's raining heavily. It floods. Usually the water pump can drain the water to prevent flooding, but it floods excessively, and the electricity goes out. The water pump stops working. The 20 cars there get flooded. So how to explain this? No one wanted this to happen. The owner of the apartment complex didn't want this to happen. The owners of the apartment and cars didn't want this to happen. But it is a natural disaster. And every other time it rained before, there was no problem. But this time there was a problem. The electricity went out, going out when it was raining heavily, and it couldn't drain the water, so it flooded all the cars. This is about karma. And the layperson who experienced this said that this wealth is not something that lasts and stays forever. We get it, and we can lose it. When we get it, we are happy. But when it goes, and we have no wisdom, then we suffer, because we don't contemplate that it has to change. But if we contemplate it, don't say it is just the car that gets damaged like this. Even one's physical body deteriorates every day. So those who are contented and happy think that, I have a lot, I want to make merit and give. I want to give away this wealth. I don't want to keep this much wealth. Or some places they make a foundation or various charities where they put all their wealth they have in there. There are many smart people like this. They build good karma. Their minds and faces are radiant, and they don't cling and hold onto their wealth till it becomes the cause that they're born into a lower realm. As for the one who does karma, bad karma, they have their bad results arise as well. What are the bad results? This karma is the power that forces it so we are born with difficulties and troubles, or being reborn in an existence that is lower than a human being. For instance, because of the karma of being stingy, because the mind is so quick, the mind gets born so quickly. There was one monk who was eating in Wat Marp, and he heard the wild chicken in the monastery crow, so he turned to look. Venerable Ajahn Chah warned him that his mind had gone to be born already with the chicken. The mind is so quick like this, it shoots over there and it's gone there. Oh, I heard this while I was eating there in the hall. Ajahn Chah said this Dhamma teaching that the mind has been born in the chicken already. So it's not just looking. It is like we are interested in that thing and the mind shoots out over there. If they died at that moment, then they would be reborn. There could be a flea living on that chicken, or if the chicken was ready, they could be reborn in the womb of the chicken. This is the mind that is so quick. This is why we need to train the mind to have samadhi, concentration, that is firmly established, so that it can look over and control our minds to be peaceful, to be in a good state, being meritorious and with goodness. Because having done karma already, it is not that one does it and it's done with, that there is no result. It has ended. One can do whatever one wants. This is miccha ditthi, wrong view. But there are those of us who believe that one's actions have consequences. There is vipaka, results arising. This vipaka is the result from doing karma. Whether doing good or bad, there is vipaka arising, results arising. So all actions, by body, speech or mind, it is kept within the citta vijnana, mind consciousness, in the knowing element. This will lead one to be born, to continue to cycle through death and rebirth, according to causes and conditions. There is kilesa, mental defilements, which leads to doing karma. When there is karma, there is vipaka, the results of that karma. When there is the vipaka of the karma arising, then this pushes us to have kilesas to arise again. So we have to see that for one who does a lot of karma in one thing or another, then when there is something that incites, it makes the kilesas come up, and then they're willing to do that karma. Like for one who has killed living beings or harmed many humans, though they may not have done it in this life, but have in past lives, then in this life, when there is something that incites them, they get angry, feel resentment, and they may be able to kill many people because they have killed before. The vipaka karma brings up the kilesas. But for one who has sila dhamma, morality or virtue, they have restraint, they have khanti, forbearance. So even when they are spoken to harshly or harmed, they don't harm the other because they have a stronger quality of forbearance. So the unskillful, bad karma that one does, it follows one. In what way does it follow? It is compared to when the kilesas force one to do various karma, then there will be vipaka, results of that, which then will keep revolving around like this. It's like we are driving a cart and the wheels keep revolving. The wheels of the cart revolve around on top of the footprints from the cow pulling the cart. Or it's like driving a car in the modern day. The wheels keep revolving forward. So this is compared to having to receive that karma without end. So using this comparison, it is easy to understand that when the cow pulls the cart, then the wheels of the cart tread over the footsteps. It goes like this. So when we know it's like this, we need to be careful of our actions, because lobha, wanting to have, dosa, harming each other, and delusion, not knowing, these will make us to do bad karma. But if we have mindfulness and wisdom, like everyone here who is intent to learn Dhamma, then we are someone who doesn't have greed. If we have anger, we try to let it go, and we try not to be deluded. We try to give up the bad results of karma. then we are just left with the vipaka karma that is good, that which will give results for us to have happiness in this life and the next life. The akusala, the unskillful, unwholesome, this is what will make us suffer, and it can even lead to suffering in this life, which is like the karma catching up with us. Like we may have heard of it before being said that for a person who does a lot of bad, and the karma was able to catch up with them. So there is such a thing as giving results in this lifetime. Or even if in this life one does not experience it, the karma will certainly follow one and gives its results. So when it's like this, we don't aggravate or make it worse for anyone else. Whoever receives the results of their karma, we don't insult them, we don't blame them, because they are also one mind who wants to have happiness and doesn't want to have suffering. But it's just that karma gives its results like this. And so the mind is important. Buddhists, since from India in the time of the Buddha to present-day Buddhists in Thailand or in the various countries, they have faith and confidence and believe in karma, believe in building goodness, about merit and demerit. And so they try to train the mind to give dana, to make merit and keep sila regularly. They have wealth and they share. But there are those who have wealth already and don't want to do this. They argue that at this time we shouldn't believe it. The Buddha is not here anymore. We don't believe in karma. It's better we don't give dana. We have wealth and so we should store it up. We should accumulate it a lot. If we use it, then it will disappear, like with other consumables, like eye drops or from liquid droppers. If we keep using it, then it will run out, even if it's just used a small amount each time. But what about if we accumulate it, like insects who accumulate, termites and bees? They accumulate and then their nests grow bigger and bigger. There are more bees, the nest grows, and more honey. There is only increasing more and more. So in this time, there are thoughts like this, but instead, may you put effort into building good karma by body, speech and mind. Give up the bad karma by body, speech and mind. And then our life will have the power of merit, which will lead us to have a good life and existence in this present life and in the future life. And this will reduce more and more the existences and lives we have left. So I anumodana, rejoice with you, those who have faith to do merit, to do dana and keep sila regularly, to those who have minds that are joyous in giving. It's not about if it's a lot or a little wealth given, but it's in constantly having that inner fulfillment and thinking of making merit constantly. May I anumodana with you. May you grow and prosper. May you grow in blessings.